Alright, Indy Hunt and Garden here. I want to do a small tutorial on how I do my jerky throughout the season, deer season. Most of my venison is jerky. I do keep some of it as a roast, but most of it, the steaks even, when it gets down to it, it makes such a killer jerky that I can eat it all day long. So a couple of the ingredients I use. First, I like Moore's. They make an original, which you see. I think they make a teriyaki as well. And the teriyaki is not bad. The bad thing about these seasonings and marinades is that the sodium level is enormous. Let's take a look at, let's see, 1 tablespoon is the serving, and that's 29% daily sodium. So I've poured the whole bottle. So leaving it sit for too long, it can you'll really, when your guests or whoever eat your jerky, they're going to say, "Well, it's got a little bite to it." Oh, that's the sodium. Something to kind of harbor that is the liquid smoke. Be very careful with this. A teaspoon is really all you're going to need. Too much of this, and people are going to kind of be coughing. I've noticed that because I thought, oh, I'll use the half a bottle, and that's really got a high sodium content as well. A little bit of black pepper. I like mine a little bit more peppery, so I'll add some in the marinade. I'll also sprinkle it on top of the strips once I get it in. And then brown sugar. This really helps kind of caramelize the marinade. It doesn't, I guess the word sear, but it kind of coats the outside. Gives it a nice, kind of sugary flavor. It, of course, makes it sweet. So here we go. We've got them in the marinade now. I'm going to let this sit for maybe half hour to an hour. This meat was cold at the store. It was a flat iron steak that I purchased from the grocery store. And I cut mine into pretty thin strips, maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe a little less. But the thicker, the longer it's going to take. And of course, if you leave it in here too long, it's really going to absorb a lot of that salt. And your guests may not appreciate it as much as you do. So we take it on, and then I have my Open Country dehydrator. It comes with 4 trays. You can pick these up at Menards or Gander, Walmart even. And they're not necessary to make jerky, but there is some nice touches here. The temperature settings, and then if I wanted to, dehydrate fruit or veggies, apples, bananas, things like that. But for the for any meat, 155 degrees. Well, Indy Hunt, I don't have a dehydrator. Can I still make jerky? Yes, you can. You need a tray just like this. It doesn't have to be elevated, but any kind of tray that you can put inside the oven with has smaller grates. This way your meat won't fall through. What you'll do on your oven then is you'll take your lowest setting. Mine will go down to, I think, 170. Drop your gauge down as far as you can. Patiently waiting. There we go, 170. It'll click on, and then what you want to do is once you open your grate on your oven, just leave it kind of cracked. You'll put the meat in there on the tray, and then I would almost get a spoon, maybe a ladle, something that can kind of, you can rest in here and keep the door just minimally closed. That way it keeps some of the heat in there, and it really will cook the meat thoroughly. Of course, you don't want it closed. The purpose of the oven is to let air and moisture release from the meat and escape through some type of vent. That's why we need the door to be open. So the smaller the crack, the better. If you can get a ladle or something in there, make sure it's metal and not plastic so you don't melt it, but just leave the door vented. Once we get these on the tray, we'll hook up with you and show you kind of what it looks like when I lay it out.